Yeah, I'm gonna make my Ironhead a new set of drag pipes. Like, these mufflers are Taiwanese ones and they're real heavy and the baffles have come loose in them and all that. The header pipes are pretty battered and they always fall off. Like, they come loose at the flanges and all that, just too much weight. So I've got to work out a better mounting system and all that. But yeah, I've always wanted a Harley with open pipes. Well, this one, people hate on you for having an Ironhead Sportster. But yeah, I've owned this since I was like 21. So I've almost had it 20 years. Yeah, that baffle's real loose. I bashed them out a long time ago when I first got the bike, but they still muffle quite a bit because it's got that perforated tube in there. I had these pipes bent up at AutoBend, or CNC, so they scanned the old pipes and then just bent it up a new pair, because that was way cheaper than buying the bends and then welding them together and stuff, and it's sort of stronger, you don't have all these joins. But I got this expanding tool, not sure how good it is, but just to flare the end of the pipe out like that so I can fit onto the spigot on the barrel. Look at that go. I think if I've marked it so it starts to expand there, so I just put it another way. I haven't used one of these before. Come on. That's not working. I might have to heat it. I'll just turn the compressor on more. Yeah, that thing's like a tailpipe repair tool, but it sort of does the job, but you got to heat it up a tiny bit. But I've been going at it a little while, like backwards and forwards, but it's doing it. Yeah, another thing, every now and again you reverse this one so it's round the other way so it doesn't expand this end, because otherwise it's putting a taper on it. So you flip that cone so they're not sliding up like that because it'll only slide up on that end, put a taper, so you flip that round and then it'll only expand on there, and you do backwards and forwards, and you'll get a kind of a alright taper. Or not taper, I mean flare. See, I put this tapered thing so these can't ride up the taper, they can only do it on this end, and then because it's making the pipe tapered otherwise, but this just expands it at the bottom, so yeah, you work it backwards and forwards, you slowly get it. But the easiest way would have been just take it to a muffler shop and get them to bang it out, but I don't know, I'm a sucker for punishment. So as you're working it in there, you gotta like go in the camera, in and out, and then I'll flip that around, and I've got a hose clamp on there to stop them expanding. And then I'm just like working in and out like that. And I've got a really nice flare, like banged that out really well. And it costs like 30 bucks for that tool. $30 New Zealand. And then, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'll trim that down. The tricky part is I've got to make brackets for here. I'm not 100% sure what to do with that. Like, I want to have clamps around the pipe. I don't want to weld anything to this because it's just going to crack off. Yeah, that's going to look good. I'll cut them shorter though, because I don't want slash cuts, I want just straight ones to get a real good bark to it. But nice. I'll do the other side. Well, the flaring tool, the nut stripped in the end, this is toast now, it's no good, but that's all done now. The flares are done. I had to bring the front one up a bit, because to get this radius right, get that tight into there, because it was down too low, but yeah, that's on now. That looks pretty good, just got to cut them to length. And next nightmare we'll be doing the brackets. Well, not really a nightmare, but just struggled with that tool for hours. I just cut them off to the same length as the old ones with the old poplars. You just line up that bend, draw a line and add on a tiny bit, I think they're they're both the same length, give or take a tiny bit. You'd probably get a better tone if one was slightly shorter than the other, because then you'd get the two air horns, get the different tone. I don't know. Oh, compared to the old ones, this one's down here, but looking at Google, this would look better if it ends here, right up by the bends, because that's 500 millimeters. And if that's 500 to there, should end there, because otherwise it looks heaps longer. That's probably the best way. I'll just measure from here to here. It's about 450. Yeah, that's roughly the same, so I'd have to bring that back to there to make them even, because otherwise it looks a bit funny if that's ending there. So the front pipe was heaps longer with the muffler on. I need some kind of surface grinder, belt sander, to get these even, so because I just got to hacksaw them, file them. Oh, that was pretty good. Straight in the last one. All the pipes they sell are slash cuts, and I don't want slash cuts. Get much more of a crack to it with a straight edge. Well, that's why they're intended, I think, to have a slash cut to quieten them down. Some people, you cut a slot and drill holes in it, and that'll quieten it down. But the iron heads aren't very loud. Well, this one's not. Yeah, that looks nice, I reckon. You're gonna laugh what colour I paint them. I made these clamps out of some Lundia shelving, so I'll drill a hole in them. So put some 1/4 inch bolts. Oh no, enough to get the head in. So about there. This is an old vernier, I use it for scribing. So as in far as I dare. Centre pop them. And then I can measure it off the other one. About 3/8 of an inch in. These are quite hard to drill because you've got to drill through 2 layers, and the other one, when it pushes through one, it's going to spring on the other one. Oh, I didn't mark the centre very well on this. About there. Yeah, spring's on the way, and I get this itching feeling to ride motorbikes. Well, it turns out this exhaust bracket here, somebody's chopped the front off it and just drilled the holes. There seems to be a slight problem with the gear lever. It's in the way, but I'm going to heat it and bend it, because somebody cut that shorter and then welded it. And it was so short that it was fouling on the points cover, and I thought the gearbox was stuck because it was jamming. And then I just noticed that. And that's the last time I rode it. But this pipe's sitting a little bit too far in, but I'll just try and bend this mount out. If anyone's got an exhaust mount for one of these, let me know. The bit which bolts to the frame with the 2 brackets coming off to each pipe. Oh, and then I have to cut this bolt off, it's too long. Yeah, that's not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Well, all I've got now to do now is slit the pipes up here for the clamps, and it should be done. Try this bolt first from the other way. My other video done. Heaps of work on the clutch on this. Hopefully I fixed it. I was using that Harley-Davidson primary gearbox oil, but it was too thick, and that Spectro stuff seems a bit thinner. It's just that front pipe sitting in slightly more than I wanted, but I don't want it at an angle like that, I want it straight. But that gear lever, I'm not sure how, it was been cut through here real short, and I've lengthened it again, but I'll bend it out a bit more. Yeah, that doesn't look that bad. So yeah, just basically paint them now and put the clamps on. Yeah, so the pipes are done now, put them on. And if you want to hear it, you're going to have to wait for the next video. It looks alright, but they'd be nice chrome, but that's ridiculously expensive, and like a pair of drag pipes chromed is 120 bucks on eBay, but to get them to me is like $400. So yeah, I don't know. I used to have a Yamaha, and I had white drag pipes on it, and it was pretty cool, I thought. It's like a real 70s thing, 60s, 70s. It's gonna sound mean,